simultaneous live. Great, we're live on Facebook and YouTube with Ben Brotherton. How's that all working out? That's pretty cool. You got it going out at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. Facebook and YouTube at the same time for great. Cool. Technology, right? I'm with my longtime friend, Ben Brotherton. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Success stories, that's what we're doing today. Ben is a longtime family friend. Our families have been friends for over, over 50 years. The Pumphreys and the Brothertons and the Quinns, going back many, many years. Your grandfather, I needed to check, and I think it was, I don't know if it was Secretariat was the horse, but he worked for Ann Marion and the Tandys for many years. Your uncle played football for Texas A&M.
Correct.
Your other brother is a veterinarian.
Jeff, Uncle Jeff.
Uncle Jeff. Your father is a orthopedic surgeon one time for
TCU,
Texas Christian University. Your mother was at one time, I think, the president of the junior league.
I think so, yeah.
Is that accurate?
I think that's accurate.
And you are a sports
enthusiast.
I wonder if I need to have that one light up. It seems a little hot in here.
Fine.
Anyhow, it's a pleasure to have you here. I know we've been friends for many times. I think we've done the Mavericks, the Stars, the Rangers,
correct,
Cowboys, the Frogs. How did you get so interested in sports?
I went to a sport event one time and just fell in love with it.
You did?
Yeah.
When was that?
Way back in the day. Back in the 1990s, and I just kind of fell in love with going to the events and experiencing the game live and just being there in person to experience all the moments and all the plays that happened in that one particular event.
Great. And then how did that kind of translate into you? We'll talk about a little bit more going to all these different stadiums and do you remember your first sporting event?
Not really. I think it's something it had to do with TCU, either football or basketball.
Texas Christian University.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I'm with Ben Brotherton. We're talking about kind of success stories, kind of perseverance. You went to Key School. Yep. You're a Fort Worth boy.
Mm-hmm.
What did you want to be when growing up?
I had no idea. But now, something to do with sports.
Sports.
Either like announcing or just being a photographer. I more like doing photography for the fun of it, but I always think it would be fun to do it as a profession.
Yeah. And you take photography now, right?
Mm-hmm. Just for the fun of it.
Okay. So let's talk about how many of these, how did you get into photography?
I just used cell phones and stuff to start taking pictures, and then I kind of wanted to get a more advanced camera. I had many just regular cameras, like point and shoot cameras, and now I have a DSLR camera. I don't use it very often. I mainly use it when I go someplace new. Like a few years ago, I went to San Francisco and took it with me and took a lot of photos of like the Golden Gate Bridge and from above it, the bay and Muir Woods outside of the city. Took it with me to just all around San Francisco, the Bay Bridge and everything. Took a cruise around the bay under that, the ship that went under the Golden Gate and the Bay Bridge. Took a lot of photos underneath the bridge from the boat. We went to Alcatraz as well. Took it with me over there. Tried a night shot of the Bay Bridge after a Giants game. Probably came out really blurry, but just a test to see how it would work. So
you've had the opportunity to travel a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How has using your camera allowed you kind of to express your feelings and emotions? To tell to tell a story.
Yeah.
How do you tell a story with your photography?
I don't really see it as telling a story. I just like taking photos so I can remember where I was and
Okay.
getting kind of the best shot I can just to see how good I am, just in my own way. Because again, I just like doing it for the fun of it.
Okay.
I'm not like trying to expertly do it as a profession, but it would be cool to get in that profession, especially with sports, or even just to travel, like going around to the national parks and going around just around the country or the world to see the different landmarks and stuff.
Okay.
So
Parks. How many ballparks have you been to? We were talking about this yesterday, right?
yes, I think I've been to about 15 major league ballparks, either seen a game in or haven't been there when they're away or out of season.
Okay. Baseball, is that your favorite sport?
Yes.
Okay. How did you get turned on to baseball?
Going to some Ranger games growing up and saw a couple of the TCU games and then kind of went, I think, to a few away games and just kind of was turned on with the fascination of how the ballparks are different. Because not one is really the same. Each one has their own special features. Their own special features in their own way. Such as Chase Field in Phoenix has a pool out in the outfield, and it kind of looks like an airplane hangar. San Francisco has the bay in the background where people like to kayak and hang out for home run balls, especially when Barry Bonds was going through his big home run onslaught on his way to breaking Hank Aaron's record of 755. I believe he finished with 763, 64. But just seeing the fascination of the different ballparks and just traveling to the different cities.
Now, let me ask you this, because they say millennials, what you fall into that aren't into baseball, they're into basketball. And you and I are into basketball, right?
Well, yeah, I like basketball.
Right, because it's fast moving, and because baseball is...
To tell you the honest truth, I'm still a basketball fan, but kind of more grown into hockey, but I still like basketball a lot. It's still a fun sport.
Right. So because that idea that it's fast moving, that it's so that's kind of I was just kind of interested your thoughts about being slower moving versus fast moving and how the game has changed and what they're doing to kind of keep the game.
Well, in the case of baseball, current commissioner Rob Manfred has integrated clocks into the different ballparks to try and move the game along. Such as in minor league baseball now, he tried it this year, where you have 30 seconds between pitches. Now to throw the pitch, get the ball back, get your next signal,
right,
and throw the next pitch. In the case of Major League Baseball, you have 2.5 minutes between innings. 2 minutes 45 seconds to 2.5. To switch out, get your warm ups in between innings with the fielders and get the next batter up and get them to get their next signal to throw. Basketball has certain timeouts. They have, I think, 7 total per team now. And some of them are 30-second timeouts. Some of them last about 2 minutes. And the clock's pretty much always moving in basketball, unless there's a foul. Soccer can keep the clock moving no matter what, and they add on time after the certain halves. It's a 90-minute clock, and it just keeps on moving even if somebody's on the field, but then they add the time on after the 45-minute mark and the 90-minute mark.
Great. Okay, let's talk about social media.
Okay.
Do you like social media?
I'm on Facebook, yeah, and Instagram.
Okay, so you're Facebook and Instagrammer. How do you feel like what do you feel like the impact of social media is today?
It could either be a good thing or a bad thing.
Okay.
I mean, you could have your best friends on there and they'll say nothing but positive things, or you can have your worst enemy on there who's out to get you. So just be careful what you post on social media.
Okay. And how often are you on social media on a daily
Sometimes
basis?
when I'm really bored, just all the time.
What's that?
Just scrolling around and just seeing what everybody's up to. And, not trying to stalk anybody.
Okay. How do you get your news?
Via Sports Center.
Okay.
But sometimes via Facebook. And me with a big time baseball lover, they got the MLB Network now. So I like to watch like such shows as like Quick Pitch or which is kind of like Baseball Tonight in a way. MLB Tonight, which previews the games and the pitching matchups, and they stay on and go to certain games and get live look-ins. So that's always been one of my favorite networks since it launched a few years ago.
Okay.
But I still watch ESPN a lot and Sports Center. I don't really watch much of Baseball Tonight because of MLB Network, but I still watch them.
Okay. Your influencers, do you feel like the positive influencers are today that are the positive examples?
Well, parents,
Okay.
friends, and just whoever has a positive influence in your life, like family, aunts, uncles, friends, parents.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Alrighty, and we were kind of talking about this helicopter generation of parents, about kids and kids today, about kind of finding their way, about after they graduate and
They don't know what they want to do, and
right.
they kind of move back home in some ways and kind of just hang out until they find a job. Sometimes that happens, or somebody that moves back home after they graduate college and they don't know what they want to do. And sometimes the parents try and get them to go out and do stuff, and they don't want to do it. But, I mean, it's kind of a part of life. You kind of have to get out there and find your own way of life, find your own way to live.
Right. So what's the best advice we can give to parents where it doesn't create a tension?
Kind of sit down, I guess, with the kid and see what exactly they want to do, and try and find information, I guess, on the internet, or try and get connections to a certain company that does what they want to do. Maybe try and get them to get out and meet them, and like you always like to say, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
He really likes LinkedIn.
I do. You can't expect you.
But just try and get out there and explore all your options for a certain company or whatever you want to do, and just kind of explore all your choices.
Provide them the tools to be successful, right?
Correct.
Right. They just can't all of a sudden know.
Right. But try and get what they want to do and help them on that success. Sorry, I got a dog sniffing me right now.
Stella's in the house.
Thanks, Stella.
On your mat.
Well, anyway.
Great. Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that we talked about, and I do preach in LinkedIn all the time because I think regardless of your age,
He really likes LinkedIn.
because I think it's your social footprint, and it's once again, if it's your age,
It is a good network, especially like he's always saying, like meeting people, especially in that type of field that you want to do. Like my case, probably photography. Try and find different companies and see if I can get in touch with those companies and maybe get LinkedIn with the person in charge, maybe send them a message and say, oh, hey, I'm interested in this field, and see what they say.
well, once again, it's also that social footprint for all the people you ever worked with to get them to write a recommendation. Mm-hmm. So something just to kind of think about. But and so how many NFL stadiums have you been to?
not nearly as many as baseball.
Yeah.
But you know, some NFL stadiums get attached with NCAA as well, like such as now it's called NRG Stadium down in Houston. I still got Stella sniffing me. So anyway, such as NRG Stadium, that used to be Reliant Stadium down in Houston. It gets attached to the Houston Texans, but also attached with such as certain kickoff games like the Avico Texas Kickoff Classic. They also had the Texas Bowl in there. They have certain. Another example is University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale. It's home to the Arizona Cardinals, and it also hosts the Fiesta Bowl.
And what do you do? Is it? What's your motivation?
I just enjoy going to the different events and just
Right.
experiencing live because it's just fun to actually be there live. Like, say if a really special moment happens, like, you know, even though he kind of got caught, like it would be fun to be at back then Pacific Bell Park, San Francisco, to see Barry Bonds hit his record-setting home run.
Absolutely.
Like the 763 or just 756. Even just tying Hank Aaron at 755.
Right.
But it would just be fun just to be there and experience him live and just say, hey, I saved the ticket and say, hey, I was actually there live.
Right.
You know?
So what excites you? What are you doing to excite you today? I mean, you know, your kids are grown up. What are your hobbies? What are your interests? You know, what are you doing to get you out of bed every day? On the weekends, when you're not working, where are you going? What do you like to do, right? Because
sometimes I like to sleep, but
right.
But sometimes
But as you get older, I mean, people need to be active and people need to be motivated and people need to be doing things like you. You're 28 years old. You've gone to 15 Major League Baseball stadiums, 12 NFL stadiums. You've gone to 5. I mean, you're motivated. So people should see that. You have perseverance, you have drive, you're at Disney. So guys, when people out there watching this should be your success story. Mm-hmm. So we're proud of you. I've known you for a long time. I'm proud to call you my friend.
Well,
so
thank you.
way to be, brother. Way to be. You're the man. Pout it out.
I was just trying to shake his hand, but
yes.
he took that way.
So every time when we go to a game or something. Yesterday, what did you tell me I was trying to do to the waitress? I was trying to do what?
Interview her.
Interview her. And then whenever we go to a game, he does commentary.
I sometimes like to commentate just for the fun of it.
So I still think you should pursue that dream. Maybe it's minor league ball, right? You're a great commentator.
I've kind of never let that
Don't
go.
let it die. That's a dream. Pursue your dream.
I just do it for the fun of it, just so you know.
Right. But that can be a dream, right?
Yes.
Just like your photography and anything else. Yes. You've pursued every dream up to this. Key School, Pekin College, Disney, and going to all these parks. Guess where he's going this weekend? Tell him where you're going.
We're going to Lubbock.
Lubbock, Texas to see who?
Arizona State play Texas Tech.
Are you going to the TCU game this weekend?
I am not, unfortunately.
He has. Do you still have the tickets?
They are home to SMU, but unfortunately I will not.
He has 50-yard line tickets.
I do not have 50-yard line tickets.
Well, they have. Anyway.
We have probably 10-yard line tickets.
Anyway, he's going to Lubbock this weekend to see Arizona State
play Texas Tech
for the first time.
I've never been out to Lubbock.
First time I went to Lubbock.
I've been to Lubbock, but not for a football game.
Great. You can have a great time. Thank you for being here. When you think about perseverance, I want you to think of one person. This guy. He's done it at every step of the way. He's got a positive attitude. He's upbeat. He's enthusiastic. Every day.
I try and be as positive as I can.
Have you ever had a bad day?
Oh, I've had many bad days.
Right. But you always try to be what?
I always try and keep a positive attitude and have fun in life.
Absolutely.
So
be positive and have fun in life. Have a great week. For Success Stories, I'm Chris Quinn. Okay, brother.